Hello everyone and welcome to another review. And today's review is the Green Goblin from the retro Spider-Man rave. But before, let's look at the box, or the packaging. And here's the packaging for the Green Goblin. Yeah, you can see what I talked about in the last video, cutting these open, where I just used a knife to cut around it. I'm not trying to hurt the card. And yeah, here it is. Push up the camera actually a little bit more. There we go. You can see the Spider-Man and everything. The background. You actually can see the background behind the packaging. I think that's really cool. Going back, and same guys. Spider-Man, Electro, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and Daredevil. Yep. And you can see he has an alternate head too. And that's as much for the card. So let's get into the figure. The sculpting is really different here. He's all this green right here on his arms and his legs are raised, so they're very textured. You can feel them. There's little spikes. They're kind of like scales. I really do like the head. A lot of people do not like the head sculpt. They say it's too goofy. His eyes are weird. But I say, oh, his head is cartoon accurate to the show, to the 80s show at least, and I don't care that much cartoon accuracy, but I can see what they were going for. A lot of people are changing this, and like, oh, I don't like the head sculpt, but it matches the rest of the figure. The arms, means the forearms are very sculpted nice in that purple plastic. So the hands, I really like his little Dio/elf shoes on the calves are very nice. And oh yeah, his satchel, his man purse where he keeps all his drugs. Oh yeah, his satchel where he keeps his little pocket pussy. Here it is. It's not part of him, so you can move it all around. You can also, if you get tired of it, you can just take it off him. It's just one very flary. It's a very movable piece of plastic. It's just very flexible. I like that patch of silver they have right there. I wish there was a one on the dot, but it's good for a $20 figure. And then these are all his accessories. Let's get into the smallest thing first. Here is his pumpkin bombs. I really like this. I'm really into Halloween, so this gets me. This is pretty good. But don't lose this though. Don't lose this. Up next is his goblin glider. Done very well in this bluish silver. You can put his feet through there, molded nicely for $20. You come up here, you look under here, there's a little a ball point, a ball peg you can go in there, put in there, you can put it on a ball joint, but it doesn't come with a ball joint. I feel like you could not have the head and just have this world's smallest little stand, maybe. I don't know, but the Mysterio has some shit like that. It's good. Next up is his Norman Osborn head. I like this very much, besides the no paint right there on his head. It looks good and not molded half bad. Kind of looks like Sandman a little bit. For paint, it is very lacking of paint besides just the molding. Just on his head, the teeth, and his eyeballs, that's basically what's it for molding. And, I think that would be a separate piece on his little nightcap thing. I think it's a separate piece. It looks the same as his back, so I think it is. And then just the silver belt buckle, and that's it for painting. This figure has super loose feet. Let me show you something. Put the feet like that, and he falls. That shouldn't be a thing. Let me show you what a foot joint should look like. This is a black suit Spider-Man again, and you see how he's holding, and just a little bit if I wiggle him, if I pull fully like that, he doesn't move. Only when I wiggle him. When I do this to the Green Goblin, he just falls. I think it might be just he's a little bit more weightier than most of Marvel Legends. He kind of feels it. This feels lighter than he does. And it really bothers me because sometimes you can't just pose him. You have to pose him just standing sometimes, or he will fall just like that because his ankle and foot joints just won't hold his weight, or they're not strong enough, or he will just fall. It's very, very frustrating. As for joints, that's literally the only loose one. His hands are tight, elbows and knees all tight. For articulation, he has a ball joint at the head, so you can look up that far even though he has the hat, and down that far even though he has a big ass chin. Full 360 at the arm, and as they have some up and down movement, bicep swivel, just 90 degrees at the elbow. At the wrist, there's a 360 and up and down, a little bit less down than the Spider-Man. For crunch, that's such, oh my god, that's such a little crunch. He can crunch so little forward, but a shit ton backwards. He does have a waist swivel, can spread that far apart. Legs can do a 360. Come on, they can do a 360. It's just shit's in the way. Come on. Looks like they can't do 60, so I lied to you. Thigh swivel. Knee can almost touch his butt, but I think it's too thick of a thigh. And at his shin, 360, and also, of course, the feet, some up and down and ankle pivot. As for posing, this guy is okay to good if you have a actually good ankle joint. To me, it's just okay because my ankle joint is really, really loose. But you can pull off some nice poses. These little stands he's on right now is the stands for my Jack Skeleton figures, and I just usually prop them up like this, but I put the glider on the ground. I usually don't fuck with the glider with like this because it's just complicated. And now, the size comparison. G1 Bumblebee, NECA Godzilla vs. King Kong, MP10, Prime, and my next review, Retro Spider-Man, Electro from the same rave, obviously. This is a bit of a sad one. This figure's awesome. He's perfectly painted, he's perfectly sculpted, he's unique. It's just those angle, man. I'm gonna have to get some gloss or maybe put some super glue in there, stuff some super glue in there and try to fix it. But if yours is not gonna yours is probably not gonna be like this. So you can probably pick this up in stores. I don't see a lot of people grabbing them, but yeah, awesome getting on Mercury. So, and like, fuck off.
Now this is really a nicer sound.
Fucking drug shit. Yeah. Do the drug. Yeah. Yo. Right from the desert Queens. Leave you sleeping on the mezzanine. Like you Lincoln and switch it to a desert scene. Often heard, but this motherfucker seldom seen. I'm throwing blows while you waiting for the bell to ring. Drug smoking, razors make the pasta sweet. Slumped over when the barrel in your posture meet. Stay lean like some motherfucking ostrich meat. You full of shit, it's time to get a colonoscopy. Scissor kicks, dick suck from Miss Elizabeth. Lex Luger arms, 4 in the morning in the dark with the computer on.